Are you making one of these 10 very super duper common Etsy mistakes? If you are, it may be seriously impacting the growth of your shop and your ability to make sales on the platform. Etsy is super competitive these days, and you really need to get these things right in order to stand out from the crowd and get those sales. My name's Jess. I've been successfully selling on Etsy since 2008. Very long time now, and I keep seeing people make these same mistakes when they get started with their shop, and I want to save you from doing the same. So let's get into them. Number one, the biggest mistake is poor product photos. Product photos are the key to success on the Etsy platform. They are what will get people to click through from search. They are what will convince people to buy. Everything else around the photos are just a support act for the star of the show in your shop, which is your photos. It's really important to invest time and effort into capturing appealing photos and potentially also videos that will help of your items. Now, throughout this video, I'm going to be referencing other previous videos I've done on all of these topics, and I'm going to leave links to them in the description below so you can follow up and actually go through and improve all of these things. So check out those links in the description below before you click away at the end of this video. Number two, inadequate product descriptions. Whenever I go to a product and I see like a 2-line description, I just, I kind of sigh with despair. It's never been easier to create an awesome description for your product. Heck, you can use ChatGPT to write up a draft for you and then edit it. So there's no excuses now for not having a good product description. You need to cover the basics. You need to talk about the features of the product, the dimensions and measurements of the product, the materials used in the product. The purpose of a description is to basically answer any question and any objection that a customer might have to clicking the buy button. So spend the time to craft a good description. It may be the very thing that makes all the difference. By the way, if you don't know what ChatGPT is and what I'm talking about, again, video below on that. Mistake number 3 is neglecting SEO. SEO is search engine optimization. To succeed on the Etsy platform, within the platform, in other words, if you want customers to find you on Etsy and buy from you on Etsy rather than driving traffic from outside of the platform, you need to get your SEO on point. There's heaps of different ways you can do this. There's heaps of different programs that can help you. There's Everbee, there's Sales Samurai, there's eRank, there's Marmalade, bunch of those I've linked to below. There's no excuse for not doing the research and discovering the correct keywords that will drive traffic to your items. You need to make your listings discoverable, your titles, your tags, your attributes, your description. All of these things contribute to your SEO, and it's really important you learn about how this works so that you can take advantage of it and succeed on the platform. Mistake number 4 is underpricing or overpricing your items. Basically, having poor pricing. If you price your products too high, you might drive away potential buyers, but you will do the same by pricing products too low. There's this thing that's well known in pricing psychology. If you give somebody a bunch of items to choose from, and there's the really cheap one, there's the really expensive one, and then there's a middle option, most people will go for the middle option because they're like, well, the cheap one, must be something wrong with it. The expensive one, it's a bit too much, I can't afford that. So they go, well, let's compromise and go for the middle of the range option. Yes, of course, there will always be the rich people who'll go for the expensive option, and there'll always be the bargain hunters who will go for always the cheapest option. But for most people, they will go for that mid-range option because it feels like a good balance of quality and value for money. So you need to make sure that you are pricing correctly and fairly, and you need to make sure you're actually pricing to make a profit. Are you pricing high enough? A massive problem I see with beginner Etsy sellers is they don't do the maths to work out what their pricing should be, and then they complain that, oh, Etsy's too expensive, all these fees. No, it's not. You're just not doing your maths right. You haven't done the calculations to ensure that you're covering all of those fees in your pricing. That's part of doing business, is doing the sums, working it out. Sure, it's not fun, but you do it and then you move on, and it means that you're going to have a profitable business, and that's the whole point, right? Again, I've got a video showing you exactly how to work out your pricing properly in that list below. Mistake number 5 is inconsistent branding. Basically, it's when you land on a shop and it just looks like a hodgepodge. It looks like a mess. Nothing seems to go together. The products are all weird. The photos are all different. The background, the lighting, it just doesn't look professional. It doesn't look coherent. And when we see a shop like that, our brain just screams, beginner or hobbyist. It doesn't scream, this is a professional business. So it's very important that you do the work to create consistent branding and a consistent aesthetic across your shop, because that is what will signal quality and professionalism to your potential customers, and it might make the difference between whether they buy from you or one of your competitors. Mistake number 6 is poor customer service. I'm hoping that you have some customer service experience, and even if you don't, from the perspective of the server, you probably have plenty of experience in customer service from the other side, and you know what's right and what's not right. Providing excellent customer service will leave you with raving fans who will recommend your product to other people and help your business grow via word of mouth. This is pretty simple to do. Things like responding timely to messages, making sure to keep your customers informed about the progress of their order, making sure that you respond politely and fairly to any customer problems or inquiries. And I have a little trick for how to get customers on side before basically you even start their order. I'll link to a video showing you how to do that below as well. Mistake number 7 is failing to optimize your shipping, okay? Because this can be a problem for so many reasons. One is you can charge the wrong amount of money for shipping and be out of pocket. You know, the shipping cost will then come off the top of your profit. You might be sending the wrong class of shipping. If you want to get star seller on Etsy, for example, you have to make sure you send via tracking with over a certain amount. You want to make sure you're shipping on time and shipping promptly so that your customers receive their order in a timely manner and don't get upset because their order is late. And of course, you want to make sure that you're shipping your products safely and beautifully packaged so that the customer has a positive experience when that comes to unboxing their order. Mistake number 8 is ignoring customer feedback. Nobody likes it when a customer is upset. Nobody likes it when a customer tells us that something is wrong. But it's important to learn from that when it does happen if you have made a mistake. There's always going to be those customers who will blame you for things that are not your fault. That's just part of doing business. But there are also those customers who will give you really valuable feedback on how you could improve. And when that happens, you need to take it on board. Listen to what they have to say. Respond to your reviews, whether positive or negative, by the way. Always respond to your reviews, especially the positive ones, because it locks it in and they can't change it on Etsy. That's a pro tip for you. But also when you get maybe a poor review, for example, and if you follow that tip that I talked about in the video that I mentioned earlier to get your customers on side, you shouldn't, because generally they will reach out to you before they leave a review, most of the time. However, what you want to do is contact them and try to solve their problem. And maybe if you do, they'll fix their review and make it better. But if they don't, you know, there's always occasionally going to be those customers who you cannot please no matter what. And when that happens, you need to respond to their review publicly in a positive way that explains the situation to everybody else who's looking, because that's who you're really talking to. Mistake number 9, where are we? 9 is inadequate marketing and promotion. Now, it's absolutely possible to succeed on Etsy, literally just from doing a good job on the platform. In fact, those people who do succeed on the platform, generally that's what they're doing, is they're actually making sure that everything I've just talked about today, they're not making any of these mistakes. They're doing all the right things to get seen and get found on the platform and get conversions on the platform. That being said, you need to put effort into this, you know, like consistently checking on your keywords, checking your photos are up to scratch, making sure your shop is still branded well and looking fresh and looking modern. And of course, in the beginning especially, it will help to drive traffic. And if you want to grow your business on Etsy and beyond Etsy, working out how to do that most effectively for you and your business is a really important thing. We don't all have to do the same thing. Not everybody has to be on TikTok. Not everybody has to be on Instagram. Don't have to necessarily do social media. There are so many other ways that you can market your business. And I've done a video on that. Again, it's linked below. But you need to work out some way of building an audience and building a community around your business and your brand so that you are getting the word out there and getting people in the door. And finally, mistake number 10. This is a boring one, but really important. Not staying up to date with Etsy policies and what's happening with the platform. Etsy are always changing things. They're always updating their policies. They're always introducing new things. They're often updating what is okay and what's not okay. Over the past few years, they've rolled out a whole bunch of changes. And if you're not aware of them, they might come to surprise you. They might bite you as well if you've been doing one thing and then suddenly it doesn't work anymore, or if Etsy changes the policy on something. Basically, just stay up to date with Etsy's policies and guidelines and changes, and make sure you know what is coming when it comes to the platform so you can prepare for it and make sure that you are in line with all of those policies and don't get yourself in trouble. The last thing you want to do is come a cropper of one of the policies and get your shop shut down. Nobody wants to see that happen. This is especially vital. I'm talking to you new sellers. If you are a new seller or someone who wants to sell on the platform, go read the rules. Go read the house rules, go read the Etsy handbook. Make sure you are not selling stuff you're not allowed to sell on the platform, because that is what gets most people in trouble, is when they're selling things they shouldn't be selling on the platform because they've just seen a YouTube video or heard somebody say about how you can make lots of money on Etsy. There are rules, make sure you abide by them and you shouldn't get in trouble. So have you made or are you making any of these common mistakes? If you are, now you know about it and you can fix them. And like I said, normally at the end of my videos, I leave like one video for you to go watch, but I have that big list below of all the follow-up videos that address all of this sort of stuff. I've been doing videos for many years now. I have covered a lot of topics and I want to help you to grow and improve your Etsy shop. So make sure to go have a look through those videos. Now, if you want help getting started, if you're like totally new and you want a guide step by step that will help you and make sure that you don't make any mistakes when it comes to getting your shop up and running, I have a free download for that. It's the Etsy Quick Start Guide. I'll leave a link right at the top of the description for the Quick Start Guide, so you can go download that and use that to help you get started with your Etsy shop. Thank you so much for watching this one. If you enjoyed it and found it helpful, give me a thumbs up and make sure to subscribe so you don't miss my future videos on how to have a thriving and profitable handmade business. I'll catch you in hopefully one of those ones below or another one very soon. Bye for now.